soon to tell. That's pretty good. We're still watching. It's just too soon to tell. Hello, hello, hello. Test, test, test. Yeah, you'll be hard pressed to find anyone actually logging in. It's definitely slowed down. 21 halfway, so which is kind of okay. Location. If we were to do, a new, we're going to do like a new course. Yeah. Could I design it in such a way? Is there someone there? Let's see. It says 3 people, but where do I see it? Or does it just take a while to load? Hello? Yeah, I don't think those are actually people. It must be something else. What is that? No, I don't think it's anything. Pin. Who's the second person? Nothing in the list. Anyways, I was just doing Tableau work anyway. Let's have a look here. I want a high watch time, high minutes. So watch time divided by views, I guess. Yeah, there's no names coming up. I don't know if there's anyone actually there. Yeah, no commentary. I don't know what this number means then. Okay, that's right. We'll just keep working. Watch time. Watch time to minutes. Yeah, I think there's no one there. That's so weird. Watch time 2 minutes. That's all right. We keep working. And if there's any questions, I'll just answer them as they come. Watch time 2 minutes. Oh, there is someone there. Is my mic on? Oh. Hello. I guess I don't have to type hello if I say hello. This is my first live stream ever. So I just wanted to see how it worked and if anyone would actually show up. So you're my very first ever. So thank you. Oh, there's another person. Aditya, I think I recognize that name too. Aditya Raj Sharma? I recognize that name. I actually recognize Surya as well. Why do these names look so familiar? I'm actually just doing some Tableau stuff, but I found out I can't actually screencast yet until maybe a few days because I got to get the software. But I figured if anyone has ideas or topics they'd like me to cover, I'll film them in a few days' time and just release them because there's a huge list of videos to be filmed still to go. So it's a never-ending list, which is great. So yeah, so it's weird when I can't hear anyone talking back. It's I guess it's a personal therapy session. Oh, cool. Surya, you're from India. Cool. I really gotta go there one day. Too bad I can't show you guys what I'm working on. So I'm actually doing the because I'm actually really new to YouTube. I'm only a few months that I've really been doing it properly. And I'm just going through all my data analytics for it and just trying to find trends or patterns or things that people like or don't like and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, still in the early kind of design phase, which is good. But yeah, it just sucks I can't show anything. There would be so many cool things we could do, but that's okay. I'm just gonna keep going. But yeah, thanks guys for coming. You don't have to stay. This was really just a test, but if you want to stay, just chill out. Too bad we can't play music either. I don't think, but that would have been cool. All right. So basically, maybe I'll just explain what I'm doing. So I've got like all these videos. I've got like hundreds of videos, and I'm trying to figure out which one the good ones are, and which one the crap ones are. And yeah, there's a lot, and they were all published at different times, and I did them in all sorts of different ways. So I'm trying to find the best way, and like some of my new software is a lot better. There's like webcams now. Before I never did that. The sound quality on the old ones were terrible. But you get lucky because some of them are just been around so long. So really what I'm trying to do is see how many views against the watch time to see which ones people are actually watching a lot. So really just dividing one value by the other. So let's see. Oh, there's a fourth person. Oh, third person. Third person. Yeah, so cool. I've never live streamed before. This is pretty cool. I should have wore a better shirt for this live stream, but yeah, I'm totally unprepared for this. It would have been cool if I had like a few topics to actually talk about and show, and I don't have a screencast yet, but it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And then the idea is, what's this? Are you planning for any video on forecasting moving averages? I can. Yeah, hang on. I can write that down. I have a list here. I call it the 44 challenge, and basically, it's I wanted to have enough videos until February next year, and then any videos I can think of throughout that time, I'll just publish kind of on the fly. But it's just to make sure that, you know, should something happen and I can't film or anything, I have heaps to kind of go off. So I got heaps here. I'll actually read a few out to you. So the biggest request, I reckon, is like the level of detail calculation. So exclude, include, fixed functions, and then different variations. And I think that's probably where people have the most trouble. Forecasting actually don't get very often. I don't really do that much forecasting on Tableau unless it's super basic. Things like, you know, a trend line and then kind of extending the time period to get a feel for the data. But if you really want to get into forecasting, like really proper forecasting, like time series analysis, then we're kind of getting into the data science kind of part. And you can use like Ultrix for that. And it would be cool if I had a whole nother channel just for Ultrix, because that thing is a monster. But yeah, good idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to this list. And we'll add forecasting. Anything in particular, Abhishek, in terms of forecasting? Or you got like a use case, like I guess, you know, banking, or is it sales, or I don't know, something like that. So I'll just say forecasting, maybe trend lines, that kind of thing. Makeover Monday visualizations from scratch. I would love to do those. I do them, and then I never release them. I've only started doing it by sharing it on like Tableau Public and kind of getting into the more artsy kind of stuff. And I wasn't sure if people were actually interested in, you know, makeover Mondays and all that. And what was the other one? There was another one where you could do, I think, maybe I'm thinking of Kaggle. But yeah, that stuff would be really good, where like you just get a data set and I'll just kind of figure it out. But the problem with a live stream makeover Monday is that I don't know how long it's going to take. It could be a quick 15-minute build, or it could be a 2-hour build. I suppose people are interested to see the step-by-step process, kind of like how I go about seeing data for the first time and then building stuff. It's a lot of trial and error, because you kind of don't know until you start building stuff. You're like, that looks good, that looks crap. I hate that. I like that. Oh, that's cool. A lot of it's just stealing ideas. So if you go to like Tableau Public, and I think I can type in here, can't I? Yeah. Tableau Public, Interworks Gallery. I'll type these in actually, in case you guys ever want to look at it. So Tableau Public, no, not Pubic. Tableau Public, Interworks Gallery. And maybe I'll grab the links now. And Makeover Monday. I think those are kind of the main three. I know Interworks. Let me get the Interworks one. They have some really cool stuff on their one. Let me just find the link. And I actually know one of the guys at Interworks, and he's like a freak when it comes to this stuff. But he also does like Ultrix and all sorts of other stuff. And where is their gallery? Analytics, people, community, case study. Oh, Viz Gallery. Here it is. I'll post up the link here. And some of these are like really good. Some of them are kind of basic, but some are just amazing. So that's the Interworks one. We'll get the Tableau Public one. Gallery. Okay, I can't believe people actually showed up. Thank you so much. Like, I mean, this is so trippy as a just being on YouTube in general. Like, it's just trippy that, you know, because when you first start this stuff, you're like, no one's gonna want to listen to me. Who am I? I'm like a nobody, you know, and you just do it because it's kind of fun. And then people show up. So it's like, really, thank you for for, you know, coming. And any ideas you have for videos I can do that can help you guys, by all means, let me know. And I'll try and film as many as I can. I'm trying to do like 5 to 10 a day. I've noticed that like by improving the software, the webcam, the audio, the production, you end up like each video takes longer and longer, but you want to have the best stuff. And then now there's like I do Adobe Spark with like images and all that kind of stuff, which is great. That's the Tableau public link. And I think what was the last one? The Makeover Monday. So in case anyone doesn't know what that is, it was one of the early ones when I learned it. Makeover Monday gallery. Yeah, some of the things people do, like I'm by no means anything close to this. I kind of can see some of these ideas, and then I'm like, oh, cool. I'll take that and mix it with something else or something like that. A lot of what I do is sort of like in the business environment. So the thing that I like doing a lot is like when someone calls me and says, listen, we've got a data problem. We don't know how to do it. We don't know where to get started, or they already know where they want to go and they just want to get a recommendation. That's fun. That's super fun. That's like, working on a new problem, something fresh, and then they're eager and you want to learn and stuff like that. So that's really great. So what I'll do is I'll add Makeover Monday to this my film list as well. And maybe what I'll do is instead of a live stream for Makeover Monday, what I might do is like I'll kind of build it, and then once I have an idea what I want to build, I'll show you how I went about building it. At least then it's not like an hour of footage, which I know nobody watches anyway. But if it was like 10 minutes and you can see kind of the start to process, and then you can learn to build it yourself, I think that would be really good. So yeah, happy to do that. Man, I'm still tripping out that there's people here. I should really turn my LED lights on because I look so dark. I've been outside all day putting up Christmas lights for my dad. So give me a second. All right, that looks better. I finally look healthy. All right. Oh, another question from Abhishek. Hi, Jed. Regarding the Tableau course in Skillshare, is it different from the Udemy course? Yes, it is. So the idea is with Udemy, one of the things that kind of bothers me about Udemy, like I love Udemy. I've been on it since 2014, but one of the things that bothers me about it is like I don't like pricing it at $200. But the way their algorithm works, you kind of have to because they end up doing sales and that kind of stuff. And it's really just to reimburse me for my time. It's by no means to get rich. And I found that over the years, a lot of the people that would say, I want to take your course, they're like similar to me where, I was a student. I didn't have any money. I could, I would eat like ramen noodles just to kind of make ends meet. And then, so you don't have like $200 or $50 to spare to take a course, but you really want to get into it. And it just bothered me that I couldn't really give it for free, completely for free, because Udemy ended up changing their policy that you couldn't just keep giving out coupons easily. Whereas early days, like 2015, 16, you could give like thousands and thousands. So I was just giving it away for free. And it was just helping people. And I was like, that's great. That's all I really wanted at that time. That's fine. With Skillshare, I kind of like the model a bit more. So I'm kind of trying it out. And the model is that everyone, the people already on it are already subscribers. So they pay like $15 a month and they get access to everything. So if I put my course up there, they don't have to pay anything extra than they were already paying, and yet they can access the course. So you got a lot more people who, have career changes, who I've met a lot of those people who they will do something completely different. And I've been there myself. And it's difficult, right? And it's hard to find good training. And when I was starting off, I couldn't find training that I liked. There was a lot, I just didn't find any I like. With Skillshare, it's kind of like a lot more accessible. That's what I wanted. So that's what I'm doing. So those ones, I guess, are going to be smaller courses, like maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, something very specific, which is kind of good because then I don't ramble off. Whereas with the Udemy one, you end up building this monster of a course, like 20 hours. And I'm not going to sit around for 20 hours watching a course myself. So I'm like, why would anyone watch mine? I would have preferred that like it would have been smaller courses, like because it really doesn't take 20 hours to get good at Tableau. In fact, if you had someone sitting with you just showing the stuff, the fastest I've gotten someone to like intermediate level who doesn't really have huge Excel skills. It was probably 3 hours, and they just like picked it up. And some people just kind of get it. I've worked with like lawyers who were able to do it, people who never really used Excel. I've worked with people who worked on factory floors, right? And it's just about like, I guess, sitting with them. That's kind of what I always wanted, but unfortunately the platforms have a mind of their own. So it would have been good to have it my way, but time will tell. I'll just keep trying to build the best I can and kind of keep it to the point, which is why YouTube's good, because I can release a video that's only 30 seconds if I wanted to, if that's all it takes to teach it. I don't want to build 20 minutes if it only takes 1 minute to teach. Let's check out this next question. So sorry to kind of go on a bit long on that one. Nikki, that will be awesome. How to build. I'm guessing that's something to do with Makeover Monday. So I've already added it to the list, Nikki, and definitely be doing a whole set of Makeover Mondays, which will really test me. Hopefully I can do like one a week. That would be good. Surya, do we expect any updated version for this course, Complete Tableau, with all the new features recently added to Tableau Decimal? Oh, yeah, definitely. So someone commented in YouTube about that. And it's bothered me for about 6 months. I know I published it in January this year. Yep. But it's bothered me for about 6 months, because like halfway through that course, I was just grinding through. I was just trying to get through it. And it's hard to stay motivated because I started filming that last July, August, and it took 6 months to build the entire thing because, curriculum, structure, content, data, editing, publishing, announcements. It's a lot of work, but and I wasn't completely happy with it. But getting back to that, I have the structure now. The new versions of Tableau just came out, so it's 2020.3 now. I think we're at. Tableau Prep Builder has also been upgraded. Tableau Bridge and Tableau Online, Tableau Server. Like, I want to show people the entire infrastructure. Like, I feel like I still haven't shown really what it does to an organization when you get it right, because it's life changing, the stuff it does. So I'll just try my best to keep doing. What I'm planning to do for the Udemy one is I'm gonna build a brand new one. So I'm gonna use the old one as like the skeleton. I'm gonna chop off all the crap, all the useless stuff, put in all the newest relative stuff, and I know level of detail is gonna go in there. So I'm going to do like a whole section on just level of detail, because everyone gets confused by that. I still need to kind of learn that, refresh that from time to time. So definitely putting that in. And then another question from Nikki: for your Udemy course, do I need advanced Excel skills? No, you do not need advanced Excel skills. Obviously, it helps. But the whole idea of Tableau is that the problem with Excel skills is that, in my experience, like for an organization, like a big one, I tend to think that when you talk to people and say, how good are you at Excel out of 10? And they'll say, oh, I'm 7, right? And then you sit with them and they're probably closer to a 2, right? Because there's so much to Excel, and we've kind of outgrown Excel for what we need it to be, right? Because people have actually gone from basic Excel to now needing databases, right? To, maybe database is probably where they should be doing it. So they're treating Excel like an Access database, when really, like, even if you learned Microsoft Access, that would have been already a monumental shift in thinking. With Tableau, the idea was to make it so freakishly simple that you don't need to be great at Excel. And in fact, I wasn't sure if you were logged in yet. A lot of the people I've worked with are not Excel people. Right. And that's kind of when I started thinking, oh man, maybe this is powerful enough to really change, like on a large scale, really to improve things. Because it really is so easy. And I find that actually the hardest part of Tableau is the confidence for someone to give it a go, because it can be intimidating, especially like, I think someone said just here, like a career change. Suddenly having to learn a new software, it can be terrifying. And I always found that, like, sitting with people and supporting them, encouraging them to, like, hey, give it a go, because a lot of things change once you know how to use Tableau from a career point of view. Also confidence and all that. But talking about careers, For example, let's say you are really good at Excel. Now, I live in Australia. Generally speaking, and I know if there's any Australians here, they may like crucify me for this. Um, the jobs you're going to get are probably paying you yearly, if only your skills like Excel, like intermediate to advanced. I don't know. You're probably going to be on 70 to 80,000 a year. Generally speaking, that's very loose, right? As soon as you do Tableau, as soon as you have Tableau on your resume, it changes things because you can apply Tableau to any industry. I don't know any industry now that doesn't do data. You can learn some of the other aspects of the business, right? Like I'll tell you my kind of story. So I started off as an aerospace engineer, but not a very good one. Hence, I'm doing data now. But I went to college for aerospace engineering. I did that for 2 years, and then another 3 years, and then another year for something else. But I just wasn't that good at it. And then I started doing Tableau. I started doing Excel, and then suddenly a few jobs became more available. But the most I probably would have gone was like 70 to 80. Um, and so I didn't really know any other industry. And then I ended up working for a car company, and then for manufacturing, and then logistics. And what I found was like the content is different, but the methods are the same. So and I even worked for childhood education. What is it? Early childhood education. A few like really weird kind of areas, and yet all my Tableau knowledge the data is always the same. You want patterns, you want trends, you want a geographical map. You got slight tweaks here and there, but it's almost like a secret key where, okay, I can do this now. I can do it for anything. So currently, I can work in safety. I can work in logistics, parts. What else? Sales, marketing. What else? Legal. Surprisingly, legal needs a lot of data stuff because a lot of times you have to give reports or results of here's where we're at, or you're trying to quantify something. Where else? Where else have I worked? Customer facing operations, call centers. What else? Regional kind of collaborations. There's so many. Once you know Tableau, once you're good at data, you can do also, and not even like great, just good at data. The world opens up to you. So it's just fantastic. I won't talk too much more on that unless you guys want me to. But here's another question. Any tutorials on Ultrix advanced stuff like spatial analysis and ETL stuff being added to the already existing Udemy course on Ultrix? Yeah, so that Ultrix course on Udemy is kind of malnourished, if you will, at this point. It's a bit sad. I really wanted to do a full Ultrix course because it's just Ultrix is. When I die, I want to be buried with an Ultrix disc. Like it was like a life-changing thing. The things you can do with Ultrix, but it's the time to actually build it. And I'm thinking, is it Tableau Ultrix or should I get Tableau going first? But I guess if, people are super interested and they want Ultrix, and I know there's not that much stuff on Ultrix, surprisingly on YouTube and even I tried to take some courses. A lot of them are paid, and again, and I mean, the software is already so expensive. I think, what is it, 10,000 US dollars? So it's one of the problems with it. But at the same time, it's like super incredible. Oh, what is Ultrix? I'll get to that. You'll love this. Yeah, so I guess if enough people really want it, I'll start devoting the time. And maybe once Tableau is kind of up and running, especially on, let's say I get the new Tableau on Udemy. I get, let's say, 10 Tableau courses on Skillshare and enough stuff covered on YouTube, because the YouTube stuff is probably the key in this whole thing, because it means you don't need to have money. You just need an internet connection to learn Tableau. That's the dream. That's the vision. Make sure everyone can learn Tableau for $0. That's the personal vision goal, right? The money comes later, right? I'm fine. I'm comfortable in my life. Now it's just about mission. So, yeah, as time goes on, we'll see what happens with Ultrix. I would love so much to teach it because it's just so incredible. What else? So I'm new to learning career trends. I'm interested, Nikki. Like, what's your, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. What was your original career to what is your new career? And while you're answering that, is Ultrix free to download? Yes, I think you only get a week trial, which really isn't long enough. Um, you really need like, I'd say a month, because the way it works is with this company, but any other company, like I've worked with Data Robot, they were good. Nime, like a lot of these kind of software companies, the way it works, and you can use this trick for any software, is you say you're from an organization, you're working for an organization, and you go to them. It's like, I want this software, but it's only 1 week trial. I need to prove that this is good to our IT divisions, to my bosses, and all this stuff, so we can get money to pay for your thing. Sales executives at these companies, Tableau included, will say, "Well, we're happy to give it to you. We'll help you with the proof of purchase," because they're trying to sign you on as a ongoing client. Because pretty much every program now is like subscription based. So if they can sign you on, it's number one, gives them money, and then number two, it's kind of like bragging rights to sell to the next customer. Because let's say you're a massive company like Nike or something, you can go to the next company and say, "Hey, we signed on Nike." Or we signed on a massive bank, and then they want to do that. So you can actually extend it. I think the longest I know that the free period was extended was like 3 months. A friend of mine just kept extending, and they're happy to do it. They can do it. The sales executives have that power. So by all means, exploit it. Um, what is this? What is the scope for learning Tableau Server Admin in terms of jobs? Okay, so basically, any organization. I'll get back to the what is Ultrix question. What is the scope for learning Tableau Server Admin in terms of jobs? Okay, so I actually don't know that specifically, mainly because I've never looked it up. Uh, when I introduce Tableau, or when I use Tableau, sometimes that there's already a server admin, there's already an admin like dealing with it, but I also do the server side, which is hugely beneficial to know that. And it's actually not super complicated. The hard part with the admin stuff is if you need to know the server side, so the non-Tableau server side of things, like how to install it and stuff. But usually the server engineers take care of that. Really, as a Tableau server admin or Tableau online admin, it's really about the data governance, which I haven't really gone into that much, I guess in courses. But data governance is really about like controlling, not control. I don't like the word control. Tableau is supposed to liberate people from requesting access to things. You as an admin is to support that so that everything's done with security and all that kind of stuff. But the right people have the right access, they're at the right levels. And it's like, I think Tableau say it's to democratize the data. So if you need something, you just log in and grab it. But a lot of companies, and I spoke to someone at one of the major banks in Australia at the moment, it's like one of the big four banks, and they were saying they are like barely into data analytics. Barely. They're still using Excel and stuff. Like, imagine if you could put Tableau in. So let's say you go into a company and they don't have Tableau yet, and you bring it in. If you know the admin side, you can actually do the full implementation. And job-wise, that's humongous. To take an organization from Excel to cloud computing, sharing, visualization and stuff, the improvements are in the millions of dollars. I've actually calculated this. It ends up being in the millions. And a simple example you can do is, let's say you got a team of 10 people, right? Usually you have people analyzing and people consuming data. The consumers are usually your managers. So the designers, instead of spending a week to design something in Excel, you design it in 1 day. But you don't have to redesign it. It gets published. And if you know how Bridge works and online sharing and refreshes and all that, a lot of that gets automated. In fact, I had like an identity crisis about a year ago. So Tableau Bridge, if you're not familiar, basically what it does is it automates the refresh of your data. So let's say you've got a Tableau desktop connected to some sort of server, let's say SQL server or Salesforce or Google Sheets or something like that, right? Before Tableau Bridge, what you'd have to do is the next day you come in, you open up Tableau desktop, you press refresh, publish it, but that takes time. And the example I use is if that takes 1 hour, right, because the data refresh, the maximum you could do per day is 8 refreshes. Now, I've gotten to the point where we have 300 dashboards designed. You cannot refresh them all in one go. So Tableau Bridge, what it does is it's like it runs in the background of your computer, and it can refresh it automatically without opening Tableau Desktop. The trick is to make sure your schedule isn't overloaded at one point in the week, right? So I'm going into a bit of detail there for that kind of stuff, but certainly any knowledge in terms of the full environment of Tableau is always beneficial, even if you go into another job that doesn't use Tableau, but maybe they'll use Power BI, right? Or Domo or something like that. Understanding the back end just makes you that much more valuable because, when things go down and they don't work, or, you want to improve a certain system or the way they do things, knowing that that part is out there just makes, your contribution just that much more valuable. So I'll go back to that one question. What is Ultrix? So, Nikki, I don't know if you've used Tableau Prep, but think of Tableau Prep and then like mature it by about 10, 15 years in terms of technology understanding. And you pretty much end up with Ultrix. So Ultrix is like, it uses the same flow system kind of design. And maybe I'll post up the link of Ultrix. How many people have actually come to this live stream? This is kind of like post-dinner live stream just to see how it all worked. To see if I could actually screencast, but I couldn't, which kind of sucks. So that's Ultrix there. And Ultrix is like, it just makes data cleansing, consolidating data, doing analysis, machine learning, geospatial analysis, A/B testing, macros, app development. Oh my God, you could do so many things. It's almost like if you didn't learn any other software for the rest of your life, or at least for the next 20 years, because the world changes that quickly, you would still be so valuable just by knowing Ultrix. And even if you go into an organization and they don't have Ultrix and you buy just one license, it's enough to change the entire game. It's that incredible. I'll tell you a story about it recently in that there was something we had to analyze. And before this year, I hadn't really done any data science. Like I said, I started off as an engineer. So all the data stuff I learned was self-taught. I just had to figure it out over the time, right? So anyways, with at the start of the year, we had to analyze something, which was you've got all these decisions. So think of, let's say, I was going to laugh. Let's say my girlfriend's upset at me, like really upset, but I don't know why she's upset, but I've measured her behavior, right? So let's say she's grumpy, she ignores me. Each of these is a parameter. She's grumpy, she ignores me, cold shoulder, happened on a Tuesday, right? And it happened at 1 p.m. Each of those is something you can measure, right? Something you can put a number on. And then I have this much money, I have this much time, and I have this much distance I can travel, right? So you put all those in, right? And now you've got things to make a decision on. Based on that information, you can say, I'm going to go buy this present and this will solve the problem. But you don't know if it will. But if you had historical data of the same thing, let's say this has happened 1,000 times, and every time you went out and bought something, the final result is either yes, she's happy, or no, she's not, right? The Ultrix can do the machine learning such that if you plug those values in, once you've developed a predictive model, right? You plug in those values and it'll tell you what present to buy. So it's sort of like reverse engineering an algorithm, right? So that's kind of in a nutshell. Hopefully that didn't raise more questions than it solved. And to do that in terms of manpower is a lot of time. So I think the time I calculated that if we were to do it with people, it would take 27 years because it just takes that long, right? Because if you have every single thing you got to check, right? Each one takes 1 hour. You've got this many to check, right? And some you have to check again, right? It's probably going to be like, 27 years. It's a long time. So you need something to do those human decision making really quickly and to be able to repeat it. So that's when Ultrix came in, and you can build that stuff. And anybody willing to learn can do it. I'm not a data scientist, right? But I was able to kind of figure it out, and our team now uses it, and it kind of convinces people that's kind of the way to go. So, man, I still can't believe people are coming to this. Thank you so much, everybody. If I wish I had whiskey, but so what was the next one? I was an executive assistant, previous expert. I'm guessing in IT support. I noticed a lot overseas are utilizing Tableau in the US. Oh, that's awesome. That's all. I have heard that America are far more advanced than Australia. Just don't quote me on that, but just from what I've heard and that they're like a few years ahead. It shocked me that when I first learned Tableau, I'm like, why isn't I feel like John Travolta, why isn't everyone doing this? And yeah, a lot of the good stories come from the US, like that they've really done analytics and then now into the data science and stuff. And with Australia, we're lagging behind, which is kind of a good point in that not just Australia, but a lot of other countries, it's not as developed as you might think. So job wise, there's a massive opportunity if you know where to look. Anywhere that they're using only Excel, there's a job there for you, right? And when you become that person who is able to take the Excel method, let's say it takes 1 month to do the Excel method, to going over to the Tableau Online, Tableau Prep, automation, and teach people along the way, and reduce it from a month to mere hours or minutes, or not even that because it can be automated. Your value, dollar sign, just goes through the roof, and opportunities just start opening up. And this is kind of one of the things that happened to me where surprise. I'll tell you a true story. So the when I switched careers from engineering and I said, I can't do this, right? And I was actually trying to do engineering PhD, which after 2 years, I said, screw this. I'm not built for engineering. And I'm like, I need a new job, but I'd have no other skills beyond engineering. What am I going to do? Right. So I knew I was like, oh, I've got some skill with Excel, and that's kind of, how it happened. And then kind of slowly, you got better, and then you get better than the people around you because they stayed with Excel, and suddenly you have all these jobs. I think engineering at the time, like on LinkedIn jobs, there would be 3 new jobs a month that I was eligible for. And then when I switched careers into data, there was probably 30 new careers a day, which tells you something. I think I remember this, it was back in 2012, there was an article that came out that data science needs and data handling people was going to increase by like 30%. In fact, I think they were poaching data people, students, right from in uni. So they hadn't even graduated yet. Like, I don't know how true that is, but sounds right, because there's just a massive shortage of data people, and you don't need to have computer science for you to be able to do it. Abhishek, oh man, keep these questions coming. A lot of this stuff, it's good to think about. And if I say something wrong, just call me out on it. It's like, nah, Jed, you're talking smash. You're talking smack, man. When you get in trouble a lot? As soon as you say Tableau's better than Power BI, people lose their minds. It's hilarious. Does Tableau support SQL DBs? I'm guessing that's like SQL-based databases and big data for analyzing unstructured data. Okay, for unstructured, I'm not the expert, so I don't really know. And unstructured, I mean, for those who don't know, something like Twitter feeds where it's just text. I honestly don't know that part, which is the analyzing unstructured data. But maybe you know what I'll do, because I'm always looking to the side. What I can say for the SQL DBs, like if you open up Tableau, I've actually got to open here, right? And you just, I'll put it here, and you go into to a server, and there are a lot of SQL-based things you can connect to. 90% of this stuff, I don't even know. Like, the industry changes so fast, and you got all these new like data sets and database. Like, it's so exciting that the amount of stuff you can learn or get good at is never ending. It's just feels fantastic, yeah, you would have to go in there and check for sure. I mean, I'm not the authority on that, unfortunately, but I use a lot of Oracle databases. I connect to that primarily for my work, and I know SQL Server. You've got that, another SQL based one. What was the other one that was SQL based? Snowflake is another one. Big data, I don't really do big data like Hadoop stuff, Apache. I don't really know much about that stuff. Surprisingly, even though I'm in like my mid-30s, I'm like 3 years into my data career, and it's surprisingly worked out well, because of Tableau. Tableau changed my life. Hi, Abhishek. Oh, okay. They're talking to each other. You can do that? Okay. It's very difficult to show that Tableau topology and architecture will change based on the requirements of the organization. It's something easy to learn desktop compared to server. No SQL. Yep. We use MySQL, SQL Server, and Snowflake. Man, I would love to have Snowflake at my company. Man, It's funny because like with the company I've worked at and some of the other ones, there are tools you want to bring in, things like Tableau, Ultrix, Snowflake, but maturity wise, they're not ready. It's sort of like, if you went back hundreds of years ago and people were just, still lighting fires and you showed them an airplane, they'll be like, that's kind of what it was. That's kind of what it's like. So it's really, learning Tableau is easy. Getting it implemented to our organization to change the way they think, that's difficult, you know. Man, I've got 7 people here. 7, that's enough to fill a jacuzzi. Maybe overfill, but you know. Sean Marshall. Oh, thanks, man. By the way, your videos have been fantastic for me. Man, like, still trips me out that people watch my stuff. One of the main reasons I wanted to share was sort of like it started off with a lot of friends going, I really need it for my job, or we're trying to do this, I don't know. And it was really just the easiest way to tell them without physically spending time, just because I didn't have it, So I could always be like, you've or you have that issue, just watch this link. If you got questions, ask me. And then also for an organization of like hundreds, you don't have to sit with every person. I built like a get started guide, and they would start there. And if they had questions, then, they would get in touch with me. So it's sort of like, you don't need heaps of money or a huge organization or IT backing of millions of dollars to really change how an organization thinks. Like one person, if you're convinced, right, and you're willing, you can really change people's lives. And I always like to think that in an organization, if they fired me, or if my things didn't work out, who cares? The organization will survive, especially if it's a good one. So that's not really my goal. My goal now is, the world has changed so much that if you can't do more than Excel standard, it's sort of like, you should know how to drive, generally speaking, or you should know how to catch public transport. That's normal. Excel is kind of the same thing, where it's just like, yeah, you should know Excel. So don't stop there. Like if you can do Tableau, it just takes you so much further. But yeah, Sean, thanks so much. Any new topics you want me to do? I've got a list of, I think, how many videos now lined up? 54 videos. Man, if we can get this to like 100, you guys will keep me busy for the next few months. But there's heaps here. There's like, oh my gosh, there's like 12 videos on quick table calculations. I'll read out a few of them. Exclude, include, add to, some of these I've already done. Makeover Monday, clusters, bins, maps, dynamic scatters, jitters, bump charts, waterfalls. Data blending, I know, is a massive one. I have to build like an entire section on that. It's hard though, coming up with the generic case. It's so much easier when people go, I've got this data set, I'm trying to blend it, it won't work. Those are good because those are real situations that people deal with. And when you guys send in questions or cases of like, I've got this, you can bet that 10,000 people in the world globally have the same issue. So your question helps them too. And I know it sounds so kind of cliche. It's like, but it really is true. Ask data. So that's all the natural language processing, maps, connecting to different data sets. Like, access is a common one. Package workbooks. I think like a lot of the stuff I want to do is Tableau. You probably hear the fireworks. Is Tableau prep, a lot of data cleansing, and Tableau online stuff, which is really so important when it comes to Tableau. Yeah, which is great. Okay, where's the other question? Okay, Sean Marshall worked at Deloitte. Oh, that's cool. For 6 years in the data team, and now work for CoreLogic real estate analytics company. That's so cool. Anytime someone says I worked for Deloitte, if anyone doesn't know, Deloitte's like, I think they call them the big four, like accounting firms, I guess. Sean, you can correct me. And it's sort of like a badge of honor if you say I worked for Deloitte. It's sort of like going, I went to a Harvard University. It's like, as soon as someone says Deloitte, my blood pressure goes up because it's tough, right? From what I've heard, you need to be tough as nails and survive the thing, and it's quite demanding. So only really the best of the best, from my experience, and I've worked with Deloitte personally as well. You need to be good. You need to be really good at what you do, which Sean. So I'm already like, dude, that's amazing. Sean, Mark, I hate data blending. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, look, it's not fun. However, early days when I first learned data blending, and because I introduced Tableau kind of the first time I was in a company, there wasn't anyone I could really ask. And yeah, you got videos online and stuff, and some of that helped, but it's such a weird concept, data blending, that even every now and then when I do a video, sometimes I'm like, I don't think I'm explaining this right. And explaining it simply is difficult because it's not a simple thing. Um, and explaining it visually, like with shapes and blocks, like I'm a shape, colors, texture kind of guy to explain things, so it's hard. But data blending, like, will save you in a lot of cases where your data is not um, what's it called? Uh, so I'm already like struggling to explain it, but basically, um, if you have like joins and then the granularity is like different for each of them, it can cause duplicates, and duplicates is like a nightmare for all of us. But blending a lot of times can help with preserving that data so you don't end up with that issue. The hard part is visualizing and testing you did it right. So Tableau have done a great job in doing that, but it's tricky to learn, which is why I think I really got to do like an entire section on it of heaps of different examples to really test it. But yeah, if that's something you guys want, let me add data blending here like 5 times. Data blending, right? So that we know it's super important. So now we're at 58. We're at 58 videos. Now it'll be crazy if we get to 100. Traditionally, in real time, we are using cross database. What is that? I actually don't know what that is. Let's look that up. Cross database program. Cross database query. See, man, it's like the more you learn, the more you don't know. It's like so humbling. But was in the management consulting team, traditionally the big 4 accounting. Yeah. Oh, you're a thanks, Sean. Man, you're like my hype girl. Not hype girl, hype guy. Sorry, I was thinking of that Sophia and something on the Ellen show, back when they were kids. I rather write custom SQL query and use joins instead of doing data blending. Yeah, same. I love writing SQL, so I do it in Oracle, showing. If you do a video showing, yeah, definitely I got to do that. I would also like to do a lot of SQL training as well, because there are some things that are better to do in SQL than they are in Tableau. There are advantages of that. So let me actually put SQL here. I think I had a few of them. So SQL, I'll just write SQL generally. End-to-end one project. Okay, so this is a interesting question. So it depends how you define the start and end of a project. Because a lot of the times, I think when I think of a project, I think of the project management start to finish. So, and then also the ongoing maintenance. So let's say day one is someone has a problem. So you go through your problem definition. How do you go about doing iteration? How you do your deliveries, your stakeholder management, and then from there, your initial deployment. Initial deployment, iterations, managing the timeline, how to say yes and no to managers. And it's always different in every case. And then after that's done, to constantly check up on them and check the experience, managing the users, managing their skill sets, how to release. I think the biggest problem with like designing things is how to walk away from it and for what you've built to keep going. I found that if I go into a team and they say we need to build this, I'll sit with them. It's like, yeah, let's build it. And early days, I would just build it because it was faster, right? Because I knew exactly how to design it. So I would just build it. And then at the end, I go, here it is, give them a license. And then I'll come back a year later and it looks exactly the same. It's like, where's the improvement? Where's the adjustments? Where the modification? Business changes every day, every week. It's like, where did you change it? And then I started realizing it's like, it's not enough to build for someone. You need to show them how to build. So what I do actually from my end to end is actually I build a core function. I build the core functionality of what I'm building, but remove a lot of the things that they really have to have, right? For it to work. So for example, let's say they go, we're doing an analysis, a global analysis, and we have, 30 countries that we need to analyze for. I'll factor in 10 countries and build it with, the functionality. I go, listen, if you want to build the rest, I will sit with you and show you. And if it takes like 3 months long, 3 times longer, 6 months longer, it's worth it because at the end of the process, they can keep improving it. In fact, they get so passionate and excited about it that they'll discover things that you never even thought of, and then you learn in the process. So I guess that's what I mean by end to end, and then also managing your budgets, timelines. What do you do when things go wrong? So I guess it really depends. I would like to give the actual experience of what it's like to design for people, and the most hated things, which is like you build something, you go, "What do you think?" and they go, "Yep, tick." And you build, and then it's like, "All right, cool. I'm going to do this next." You build another thing, they change something else, right? And then kind of bit by bit, and everyone's saying, "Yep, it's great, it's great, it's great." And then a week before final release, you go, "Actually, can we do it this way?" Which changes the entire design. Like, how do you manage that? So I guess going back to your question, how do you go end to end? It depends how of which part or the whole part or certain parts or certain situations you want me to cover. Um, but yeah, let me know if I guess if you don't really say anything, I'll kind of just do bits and pieces of that. It's quite a long journey, but it's so important. And if you're good at that, it kind of transcends you from just being a Tableau designer, which is already massive, to being someone who can create solutions. Yeah, how to talk with people, and it's a learnable skill. People sometimes go, "Oh yeah, I haven't got good communication skills. I don't know how to really work with people." Nobody does at the beginning. Maybe you have a few tiny percent of the population that have that skill, but very few things in life are not learnable, right? If you're willing, and you can get so far in your career these days. There's just so much knowledge out there. SQL is so important for anyone saying they are in reporting. Oh yeah, I think one of the things about SQL is I like to think of it as like the skeleton of the industry, in that a majority of database systems will probably be SQL based. Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, is that a lot of them would be SQL based. And you don't need to be super advanced. I'm not talking about like, partition codes and all that kind of stuff, like the really advanced kind of SQL. Even something as basic as like select queries, how to extract, how to filter, using where clauses, even just those things. Like, I mean, you could learn that in 20 minutes, right? And if you do want to learn, a good way to do that is Microsoft Access, because that's kind of a beginner program to get you into it, because it's got everything in one package. But SQL, it's not as hard as you might think. 20 minutes, you could probably learn it. Maybe I'll do a video. I don't know if you guys want to see a really quick SQL video, especially in Tableau, right? How to do SQL. Maybe I'll do that. SQL in Tableau. We'll do SQL basics. Man, how many we got now? 61. Man, that's crazy. 61 videos. All right, cool. Just SQL and Tableau and you'll be golden. Oh yeah, definitely, Sean. And yeah, that's not something that's going to take you 6 months or anything. That's like, if you're really willing and you got someone to sit down. You know what? I will do a full video just for you, Nikki. Let me write your name here. SQL for Nikki, which is also my cousin's name. I hate my cousin. No, I'm joking. SQL for Nikki. So do basics outside of Tableau and also in Tableau, right? Okay. And one of the actual other advantages of SQL in Tableau is that, okay, if you have like a server, right, and you've got data sets in it, like tables, right? So you got tables, and you need to manipulate them in a certain way, restructure them, filter them, do all sorts of stuff. You can do that in the server program that you're doing. But sometimes the temporary analysis, or it's like a minor thing, and you don't want to have to create a whole nother data set in the server just for that one thing. It sounds kind of trivial, but it's not. So let's say you have 100 million rows against 100 million rows. That's a big data set. So you don't want to have to run something just for that. What you can do is just take the SQL code that generates that result and just copy paste it into Tableau, and Tableau just goes ahead and does it. The times in which you need to constantly reuse that data set, that's when I would put it into the server. So I guess some decision making needs to kind of take place. Where am I going? Okay, thank you, Sean. Yep, cool. Do I need a portfolio of work for my resume? Okay. No. The question I would ask is, if you're applying for jobs where Tableau is the focus, right? 10 other people are most likely going to, let's say I've also applied. Your resumes are going to look relatively the same. Yeah. So it's sort of like what's going to stand out. I can bet you that most people will not have a portfolio. And the reason I say that is because I applied for some jobs 3 years ago and nobody had portfolios, but I didn't know the industry. I thought portfolios was a normal thing. So what I did was I designed all these kind of like visualizations, all these things that I had solved, right? And I just did screenshots. And when I called, and it's good to have them on hand. So I called the lady and she said, I'm sorry, the applications have already closed. You can't apply anymore. And I said, oh, that's such a shame, because the job is so exciting. Da, 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 da. I've got some dashboards I've built. Can you just, I know you're super busy, but can you have like just a quick look? I'll send them right through. And if you don't like them, I'll leave you alone. And thank you so much. You got to be a bit pushy. And I sent them and they're like, can you come in next week for an interview? I was like, yeah, for sure. Because saying what you can do is different from showing what you can do, right? And even better than that, if you're really smart about it, publish your dashboards to Tableau Public, right? Which means it's accessible by anyone. And then you can do all sorts of like really cool actions and behaviors. And you can even do like, what is it called? Like pages animation and stuff like that. I like pages animation for like scatter plots. And it doesn't need to be real data. I can just make fake data. Some of the stuff like how disease has changed over the years. There was such a cool video. I have to find that. Disease over the years, YouTube visualization. I think it was a TED Talk. Videos. Here it is. If anyone wants to watch this, I think it was a TED Talk. Really like, this guy, Hans Rosling. This thing. All right, let me post this up. You guys will love this. All right. Would have been cool if we can watch it together, but yeah, check out that link. It's like if you ever showed anyone something like that, it would just blow their mind, So it's whatever can differentiate you with a job of like things you solved or people you helped and all that stuff. Sean, if you ever need examples, just let me know. We're building dashboard every day for banking. Oh, yeah, I would love that. Actually, you know what, Sean Marshall, I'll put in my email and get in touch with me. And this is so cool. Like people connecting with me and talking like this. This is stuff you read about. Like when someone goes, how do you get successful in YouTube? Connect with your audience. You're like, oh, it actually works. So let me type this in. Sean Marshall. Dashboards and data sets. Yeah, I would love real life examples, especially like dirty data. And I can show people how we can actually clean that stuff. So I've put my email there, Sean. So yeah, if you want to get in touch, that would be fantastic. Like we could help so many people. Nikki, yes, real-time project to practice. Yeah, that'll be great. Like that. You know what I noticed with YouTube? A lot of the videos for training don't have data sets. Why is that? It's like, it's a training video. You don't want people to like be able to follow along, but yeah, a lot of them don't have data sets. That's really weird, right? So if I ever do that, just make sure, like, just call me out on it. Subhani, welcome. New name. Man, there's like 7 people here. Our jacuzzi is getting kind of tight. How we get requirement and building dashboard and publishing server create video like that end-to-end with some real-time scenario. Yeah, so I think that's kind of like from start to finish, from like building to deploying on Tableau Online to doing the interactiveness to iterations, the changes like that. I already got something similar to that. So I'll do Tableau life cycle project management, start to finish. And I'll build something. And I suppose like I'll film a video with something and then you guys can be like, I like that, I didn't like it, or I wish you covered this. And I'll just keep churning them out as much as I can. Okay. Tayal, another newcomer. Man, this is so trippy. People have come here. You know what this is like? Like you go to a bar and you're like, I'm not going to see anyone. And then like you meet people and you're like, this is weird. Can you please make video on scenario-based questions or problem which people face in real-time projects? Oh man, yeah. A lot of the data sets I use are kind of like generic. Just so it's kind of like, I suppose I always think everyone's kind of a beginner and something simple they can follow and then add complexity. If you guys have data sets, I know I've already got a few data set. I think he was actually here to actually work on and show. Just let me know if you're happy with me, obviously, to kind of publish it and stuff like that. And I'll show you kind of how I go about dealing with real data, right? Just make sure there's nothing privacy and we're not going to like violate any privacy laws or anything like that. But I would love to do real-time problems. Let me add that in. Real world problems and how I approach them. Cool. How many we got? We got 63 videos now, 37 away. I recommend doing Makeover Monday each week, and your portfolio will build itself. You just need to make a Tableau pub. Yeah, definitely. That will help a lot. There's some links up at the top. They're like at the beginning. There's links for that. And for me, like just steal as many as you can in like a lighthearted sense, which basically means if you go into Tableau Public, right, you can actually download the dashboard, see how they work, and basically replicate it, tweak it a little bit when you're getting started. Nothing wrong with that. Just to show, and then you'll actually learn a lot while you kind of reverse engineer how people build things. And the Tableau community is very unique compared to any other kind of tech community I've experienced. Like they're very community nerdy. That's the only way I can kind of think about it, which is like I remember going to a conference once because I was presenting at one of the Tableau conferences in Sydney. And I think it was that one, or it was like a Melbourne conference. And someone goes, hey, Tableau, we just released this new feature so that you can minimize something. That's all it was. And everyone in my row went, oh, what? And it's not like everyone's trying to keep their techniques a secret. It's sort of like if you learn something, share it, tell everyone. And a lot of people get scared with sharing what they know or the tricks or the secrets that they've discovered. Because they're like, well, then my job security is kind of at risk. And I'm telling you, if you're someone who's uplifting an organization, you're uplifting people, you're making them more employable, more valuable for not in their job, in their future, that you can't teach that necessarily. If someone's like motivated and inspirational that they want to uplift a community so that people have better lives, you have ultimate job security if you have that mindset, And I suppose mindset is a whole nother thing. If anyone ever wanted to talk about that. Okay. Cool. No worries, Nikki. I will do. Yeah, I think let's do. You know what? Let's do Makeover Monday. I think I have had requests about that before. Monday videos. I'll make this ongoing as much as I can. Like every week or something, we'll release a new one or unveil new video every week or something. That's really cool. And then you guys can critique me. It's like, Jed, I like this, I didn't like this. Jed, can we do this? That would be really cool. That's the plan. Steal as much as you can. Yep. I didn't tell you that. Subhani Sheikh, nice to see you. Thanks, Jellyman. Yeah, no worries. Can you please make videos on data cleaning or data changing after we import into Tableau? Ooh, okay, yeah. So that will be Tableau prep. It really depends on the data cleansing. Data cleansing is like, it's like an art form, and it's funny. I did an exercise once. I was working with a team and we were, I was kind of in charge of the team. And I said, all right, here's the data set, everyone. Clean it. And you have to make it look like this. Go. And surprisingly, there were like 10 different ways to do it, and everyone has like a slightly different approach, It just blows my mind. There's always something more to learn, which is just, I'm still learning things about Tableau where I'm just like, it's crazy. Okay, so we'll do data cleansing in both Tableau and Tableau Prep. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that one definitely. Yeah, I have actually produced a whole heap of Tableau Prep videos. Oh, excuse me. Let me go to my studio. Let's just see what I've got already because I filmed a whole bunch of them. And you'll find that a lot of the videos I released recently, they're all kind of different. And the only reason is because before I got the webcam, before I got the LED studio lights and everything, I published them and the sound wasn't that great. And I didn't want to throw them away. I was like, just publish them, chuck them on. At least like if someone enjoys it, that's great. But all the new ones that are going to be coming out are like edited with the new software. You'll see that I've got like my little webcam there in the corner and stuff. The structure is different. I try and get through the intro a lot faster. So let's see here. Private, here we go. So the Tableau Prep ones for data cleansing that are coming up. are, oh, there's actually not that much. I think I've already published. The first one, how do you clean data in Tableau Prep? All right. So that's coming soon. Loading multiple files, Tableau Prep too slow. So there's also performance things you got to think about, replacing old files, reconnections, and then a bunch of other Tableau desktop. So I think I've got a list of all the Tableau Prep ones I'm going to be doing. So hopefully those will be coming soon. Jellyman doing a mom? Oh, Makeover Monday. Doing a mom live. I thought you meant like an impersonation. Doing a mom live where you import the data, analyze it, and then create a dashboard would be kind of. Yeah, you know what? If we got enough, you know what? Like maybe what I'll do, if I go about starting one, I might just be like, okay, a data set comes in, I'll turn on the live stream on a standard day, and whoever wants to come see it, and whoever doesn't. And you know what you'll find when I do it, you'll be like, well, why do you do it that way? It's faster to do it this way, and then I learn something. So, when are you starting a Twitch channel? What's a Twitch channel? No, I'm joking. I know what a Twitch channel is. I'm not that old. I never thought of that. Can you use Twitch for Tableau? I don't know that much about it. I figured Twitch is like a live streamer or something, isn't it? Start a Twitch ASAP. Okay, you know what? We'll put that on the list. Start a Twitch channel. Okay, I've put exclamation marks, bold, red text, and yellow fill. Okay. I suppose that'd be pretty cool to do. Yeah, I suppose if enough people wanted it. I'm still surprised that people are here talking to me. It trips me. Can you please make a video on how to use Python in Tableau with real-time sound? I would love to. Unfortunately, I don't know Python. I should know Python, but I don't. I've always wanted to learn Python, you know? And if I knew it, I would definitely be teaching. You know what? Personal challenge of 2021, I will learn Python for you guys. For 2021, learn Python. You know, another thing is like, so the very first program I learned was Microsoft Excel VBA. And the idea was I was overseas and they said, we need you to analyze this thing. And all I knew was Excel. So we ended up learning how to write code using VBA for this analysis. And the first programming language you learn is always the hardest. It was so difficult. And then the next one got easier, and the next one got easier because they're all kind of based on the same principles in a way, such that I think I learned SQL in a few days. I ended up doing Matlab. Matlab was another funny story. So I was tutoring aerospace, mechanical, and civil engineers on how to use Matlab for computational programming and stuff like that. And I was in research, and you don't make much money as a research when you're doing your PhD, you make almost no money. So you have to take all these odd jobs to kind of make it through. And they said, we need someone who can teach MATLAB. And I was like, I can teach MATLAB. Cool. And then he's like, all right, cool. You start next week. I'm like, great. So I went home and I was like, I have to learn MATLAB because now I have to teach it. But then because I knew VBA and I knew a few other things, MATLAB just kind of came. And then a lot of the stuff you just Google, which is great. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn Python next year. It won't be anything super advanced. It'll be like basic stuff, But you know what? Actually, what would be better? I'll still learn it. But if anyone knows Python and wants to teach it, I'll be happy to collaborate, at least on the Tableau side. Somehow, if anyone's ever interested in doing something like that, that would be awesome. Because then I would actually have someone teaching me Python, which would be good. So you know what? I might put collab here, right next to it. Smiley face. Yes, yes, live stream. It's more for gaming than anything, really. Is that for Python? But it's getting a lot of people from YouTube going full on statistics on us. Very Excel like Python, Java C. I tried learning Java once. Trying to build a website. That was a nightmare. Fake it till you make it. I taught my daughter. Python. Oh man, I would love for you to show me Python. I'll trade you. I'll teach Tableau, and you can teach me Python. How's that sound? I think that'll be really good. Yeah, man, I've been streaming now for like an hour and 17 minutes. I can't believe people have actually logged in. It's tripping me out. Yeah, okay. So you know what? Let me, even if you can kind of point me in the right directions, like how to even go about it, or the things like, you know what you should do for Python with Tableau for this would be fantastic. It's like, oh, cool, and then I maybe don't have to learn the whole Python. Oh, you're from South Australia. Are you okay with all the? I think you guys are on lockdown at the moment, right? Um, I hope everything's okay. We just came out of lockdown recently, so I'm from Melbourne, and oh dang, yeah, 6 days. Yeah, man, I know. I just saw my family the first time in like 8 months. Yeah, it's tough, but we can get through it as a country. You know, we've got, as long as the Netflix and Wi-Fi is working, we're okay. We can make it through. Um, okay, yeah. All right. Everyone thinks I'm American. I'll tell you why. So I'm Filipino. I was born in Philippines, but I grew up in Australia. But my parents and all my uncles and aunties grew up in Philippines, and the schools in um in Philippines were kind of put together by the Americans, I guess, like through the war. I can't remember exactly. So a lot of them have like American accents, and when I talk to my parents, it's the same kind of accent. And when I'm by myself, it's the same accent. But when I'm around Aussies, I sound Aussie. It's a thing. Ask any Filipino, it happens. So um, that's why it's always funny. Like my internal dialogue is like American-ish. And when I'm around my family and then an Australian, it's a nightmare. Um, watching from Adelaide, yeah, yeah, midnight tonight. Next, okay, yeah. Um, oh, where in Texas? Austin or Dallas? Where are there any other places in Texas? Because Texas is on my travel list. I want to go to Austin, Texas for smoked barbecue. That would be sick. I want to go see Aaron Franklin and all the other barbecue pit masters. Or Dallas, Texas. Oh, that's cool. Is that where the not space station? What is it? The NASA thing is? I'm so terrible with what's where, so I'm sorry. Uh, oh, sorry. What's in Dallas? What am I thinking of? Where's NASA? Dallas. Oh man, I'm terrible. I'm terrible. But yeah. Um, terrible. But yeah, man, it's so cool for you guys to like hang out with me tonight. I was really just going to go through a few of the kind of dashboard stuff, and I was like, nah, no one's gonna look in. But yeah. Oh, jeez, I just lost it. But yeah, oh man, trippy night. How often should I really do this live streaming? I have no idea. I didn't even know this would work. Um, I'm thinking like maybe once a week for like a Q&A, whenever someone is like struggling with something, or maybe I have preloaded topics or something like that, maybe. Um, I'm not too sure. Or you know what I might do? Just kind of, I'll have a schedule, but then whenever I'm working on something data-wise, just turn on the live stream, and then whatever happens, happens. If someone's there, just hang out, chill out kind of thing. 5 a.m. here, 5 a.m. in Dallas. What are you doing online? 5 a.m. That's crazy. Watching me at 5 a.m. That's crazy. Maybe getting ready for work. Oh man, that is crazy. That's crazy. Oh man. What should we do now? Yeah, I gotta start planning this new Udemy course. There's a lot of questions that have piled up. I still gotta try and answer. I'm trying to do like a video per question on the Udemy stuff. So yeah, but yeah, I've kind of run out of things to say. I'm all talked out, full of Malaysian food. Um, yeah, but maybe I will sign off now. But thank you guys so much for tuning in on this kind of uh, what is it, impromptu night. And hopefully I see you guys again soon. And as always, like if you guys got any questions, topics, issues, whatever it is, by all means, like just drop me a line. I will try and make as many videos as I possibly can. Yeah, as much as I can. We need to spread this like around the world to do this kind of stuff. This is good, positive world stuff that the world needs right now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will end it there. Have a good night. Thank you. God bless.